in the intern.
We do like the chicken bunny? Or should I just keep him?
Yeah, he's good right there. Peering over the edge of the
I don't mind him as long as he doesn't sing. Just peering over the edge?
I'm like that about a lot of people.
Okay. I can understand that. Okay.
Yeah. Tell the intern to come in and have a cup of coffee, tea.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. I think it's time probably for me to pull that other thing out. I'm way over steeping this tea, and this stuff is a bit harsh to start with, so. Oh yeah, black is coffee in it now. I don't really need to do that, didn't I? Okay. That'll be good. Hey there. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Now myself, I can always listen to things. You know I love this one. But let's go on to the weird stuff. Let's see what we can come up with. That's good. Now, what happened to that? Gonna try something else here for a minute. I have something I need to add to this list. Something off the Shape Static project. I'm sure everybody's been dying to hear the new Shape Static CD. Here it is. I don't know if you can see it. It has a Reese Perry painting on the front of it. It has a Reese Perry painting on the back of it. Has a Reese Perry painting on the CD itself. Yes. Let's see. Ah, that's good. There we go.
The skinhead style is smart, clean, and tough. It is a precise uniform which proclaims identity. The young people who developed this style rejected the finery and the slightly effeminate characteristics of the art college kids and the hippies for clothes that were more related to their working class background. They needed clothes that would not get torn in a fight, which would stay pressed and neat, and which would identify them in a crowd. Donkey jackets, army greens, tough working jeans, industrial boots, and braces fitted this need. Steel toe-capped boots, highly polished, became a badge of identity and a useful weapon. In addition to clothes, hairstyles are an important indicator of who you are and the cult to which you belong. Skinhead had already been used to describe the U.S. Marines, but a skinhead crop is not a crew cut, which is close cut at the sides and flat on the top. The length of the cut is controlled by the thickness of the white plastic clip-on guard of the barber's electric razor. There are 4 thicknesses of guard, with number 1 giving the shortest crop and number 4 the longest. Partings could be shaved into the crop from front to crown. When long hair was the trademark of the hippie and the dropout, it is to be expected that an anti-hippie movement should adopt short hair. A crop, however, has other benefits. If you get in a fight, short hair is an advantage since your opponent cannot grasp it. It has another practical benefit in that it is easy to keep clean and to wash. It is also easy to manage when you are working. Mustaches and beards were rarely seen on skins. Shaving was obligatory and stubble not accepted. However, some skins had long sideburns, terminating at the lower jaw. Generally, short hair is associated in the public mind with convicts, prison camp inmates, and the military. It was exactly this mean look which the skins wished to cultivate. Attitudes to parents, school, and the police were not specifically skinhead, but like that of other working class youths. Being a skin did not normally imply a break with your family. Mothers welcomed the short hair because it presented less problems than long hair. Fathers liked the style because it was neat and workmanlike. Unlike the families of middle-class dropouts,
so I'm gonna leave again.
skinhead families were
I didn't get
generally
everything covered I
supportive,
wanted covered.
helping with money
heard this.
and acting as some sort of barrier against school and the police. A skin would normally live at home.
Turn the volume down just a little. There we go.
Now that's the new Shape Static CD. That's
Oi
different. That's
is
not
a
playing
ritual
here.
purge on everything
Reese
that
Perry
doesn't sound
painting
like
on
the
the front
voice
and
of the
back.
mob, with its back against the wall. It aims to root out all the impurities of soft, pretentious post-punk rock.
Of the John Warren.
Artiness, weird, spacey lyrics, a studio-dependent electronic sound, a flirtation with sexually ambiguous imagery. All these taints have been boiled away in the good old-fashioned aggro of oi.
So, what are we listening to now again?
Let's see what it's doing right now. We're listening
Subcultures
to
are a massive contradiction.
Are they going to say anything that
Though they
freaks
may
out
be
the
at times loosely allied to a
current
particular kind of
pre-11
politics.
p.m. audience?
I don't know. Did you hear anything?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
Okay. But I heard them use the word sexually explicit, which certainly does not offend me, but it occurred to me that they could move on to
There are
describing
more
things
things
sexually
between
explicit.
heaven and hell than any of us.
We were
Have
listening
accepted.
to a section
And
from
I
a movie,
have the
a Bruce
witnesses
LaBruce
and the
movie.
documents to prove it. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Stephen Gould.
Thank you very much, John.
Do I need to turn
Members
this
of the
down some?
press, the American public, and
Do I
people
need
of
to
the
turn this down
world.
some?
We are here today to disclose the truth about a subject that has been ridiculed and questioned, denied for at least 50 years. The men and women who are on this stage and the some 350 additional military intelligence witnesses to the so-called UFO matter and extraterrestrial intelligence can prove and will prove that we are not alone. I would like to thank Sarah McClendon, who is with us today, the famed White House correspondent there.
Okay. Here's something that, here's a thought, well,
In 1993, a group of military...
Okay, here's something that I was thinking
Okay.
about extraterrestrial intelligence.
Okay.
While as we are unquestionably smarter than, by and large, have a greater capacity for reasoning and tool using than any other current life form native to this planet, what existed hundreds of millions of years ago, who knows? Who knows what sort of Precambrian stuff there was out there. But currently, we have the biggest brains, but the trade-off for having higher intelligence is we have greater capacity to make mistakes.
Like global warming or something like that.
Global warming.
Would that be is that
yeah.
kind of what you had in mind? Is that what inspired this notion?
that is, well, it's not what I had in mind specifically, but that is an excellent example.
Okay.
While a snail is certainly never going to achieve the heights humanity can, a snail really can't make that many mistakes.
Right. Well, you know what? If
For example.
if the snail population, for instance, were to breed out of control or something like that, they might cause some kind of catastrophe.
Yeah, but that's just snails doing what they're doing because odds are something's not. Odds are they're in an environment that is favorable to them.
Right.
For some reason, there's not some sort of predator that eats snails in the immediate area, or there's just lots of good eating for snails or something like that, and they'll just continue doing what they're doing. And they're not going to think about it at all. Just doing what they're doing. As we have greater capacity for intelligence, the degree with which we can make more spectacular mistakes increases.
Yeah.
I say this because if, in fact, there are little gray men kidnapping people and experimenting with them and the like, somewhere along the line, because I was having a conversation with somebody who said that they were abducted, and I said my response, well, if I thought I was being abducted by aliens, I would cover my house with booby traps. And she's like, oh, but it wouldn't make a difference. I guarantee you, if there are little gray guys kidnapping and experimenting with people, one of those little gray guys at some point made some kind of a mistake and had a bad experience, because I do not buy that because they're smarter than us, they're infallible.
Right.
If they're smarter than us, then odds are they're probably even more capable.
Like I could see a little gray guy with a mouse trap on his toe, going like and all of a sudden you wake up and there's like a little gray guy hopping around your bedroom.
I do not buy that it hasn't happened if there are in fact little gray guys abducting people. If there are, that's had to happen at least once. It's had to, or something like that. I'm sure. Having
never been abducted myself, to my knowledge, it's hard for me to address abductees. However, having had an experience with a UFO at fairly close range, I know that there's something afoot, if you will. But addressing the abduction, I mean, I didn't need to be abducted. When we saw the UFO, I was like, take me away. I was ready to go, and they didn't. So, getting ready to, yes, check that. Should be black as coffee. See if it is. No.
It's good enough.
But it's,
Or the sci-fi geek in me analyzing it, say whatever they use to knock people out, the alpha wave inhibitor or something like that. They get the setting wrong, and it just knocks out a person's higher functions. And human beings, sometimes when they get into a frenzy, some human beings can be ridiculously vicious.
Oh, yeah.
So they knock out some person's higher functions, and there's just the primitive reptile part of the human being, which proceeds to completely freak out and bash in the skull of a little gray guy. Something like that. I'm sure if there have been this number of abductions, one of the little gray guys has run afoul of a human somewhere along the way and had an unpleasant experience.
But that's when they bring in the men in black and flash do the little flashy thing on you, and everybody forgets.
Maybe.
Yeah. Did you see the movie Men in Black 2?
Yes, and it sucked.
You really didn't? I really liked Men in Black 2.
It was disappointing. It was just a little too contrived.
I liked it every bit as much as the first one. I did, particularly what I call the expose on the Postal Service.
Well,
That that was just too good. I think once having seen that movie, you'll never look at a post office the same way again. Do you remember that part?
I remember that part.
Have you, prior to having seen that part, did you ever wonder what was the deal with the post office?
I just assume that it's got to be a really rough job that they don't pay you enough for.
I'll bet that's true.
But it probably has comparatively decent benefits because it's government, and there's got to be probably a certain element of job security, so a lot of people stick with it anyway.
Right.
But
and then some people don't.
Considering the number of people that flip out and shoot people that work for the post office, there's obviously some stress involved.
My aunt married, or maybe she's my cousin, whatever she is. One of my relatives married a guy, Charlie. We called him Uncle Charlie. She married Uncle Charlie. Now, truly, Uncle Charlie had a tendency from the beginning. We always knew that Uncle Charlie had a tendency to take a drink from time to time. But Uncle Charlie became a mailman, and he delivered mail for quite some time. And then one day, apparently, he just changed his mind about all that, and he threw all the mail in a dumpster.
That is not the smoothest and coolest way to back out of a job.
No, but it is a guaranteed way to back out of a job.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's always just never showing up again. See, I did that. When many people in this town have worked for Client Logic.
We heard that
yes.
story, yeah.
Okay, you heard that story.
You gave away the farm, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
but the customer service, I deliberately made sure that everybody that I dealt with on the phone that was a customer was very happy.
Right.
And on my last day, when I just decided I don't want to do this anymore, I came in for about 90 minutes, several hours late, just sat down, got on there, and just made sure that in terms of the accounts I was dealing with, that everything was wrapped up so that there wasn't anything that was left hanging, that like any promise that I could make to a customer was kept. And once I made sure that was done, I just got up and walked out, and that was it.
Right.
And didn't say anything to anybody. Just came in late, nobody noticed, stayed for 90 minutes, left. So, and I'm very proud of the way I handled that.
Did you dislike Client Logic, or had you just had enough of it?
You know, it's like many places I've worked, I really liked a lot of people that I worked with. One of the people I worked with at the time hey Paul, how you doing? One of the people that I worked with at the time, I still work with, Big John, our cameraman for Mount Dungeon. He works at Client Logic. He worked at Client Logic, and I started working there because he said, I said, I need a job. He's like, they're always hiring at Client Logic. So,
yeah.
But the place itself I didn't like, and my one encounter with the woman that was the operations manager for Earthlink is just one of those people that should not be running something like that, because she did not inspire people. She just did nothing but create resentment amongst everybody. That was
and John is always a jovial fella and easy to get along with, isn't he?
Yeah.
Always just, yeah. Well, now.
And I don't think he has my particular kind of stubborn pride, in which one encounter like that has me not wanting to deal with that sort of thing. It's why I don't tend to last long in wage slave jobs.
When you were there, did you know Richard Page?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
You didn't know him. Okay. I've had a lot of friends who've worked for Client Logic.
Yeah.
That seems to be one of the like three things going in this area, as far as numbers of people that work there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I don't know if you've ever seen the inside, but it's pretty spacious. And the one thing I will say about it that I really liked is very well air conditioned, which it has to be considering the number of computers running. But
all right, they're probably air conditioning it for the computers, not the employees.
I've no doubt whatsoever. No doubt whatsoever. I'm sure it's a pure functionality decision, but it is very well air conditioned.
You know it. Those computers would get overheating and crashing.
Yes, and it was the hottest part of the summer when I was working there, so I liked that.
Right. So there's a for those of you that are seniors this year that'll be graduating from college, there's something to consider. Go into a field that uses a lot of computers, and the boss will probably keep the air conditioner at a reasonable level.
Yeah.
Maybe even at too high a level. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna step out again and see if I can cover something that I've been trying
Well, do
to.
bring someone in with you.
Make no promises, but I'll see what I can do.
I don't know if it'll happen, but I've invited Dr. Gordon
Okay.
to come, and
I
he
hope
said
he
he was
comes.
going to share a song with us.
All right. I hope he comes.
We'll just see.
I shall be right back.
All right, it's up to me again. Here we go. I know you've been waiting for this one. We're gonna cruise through the shape stat. We're gonna start. Listen to the static. I hear static. I know static is on its way. Now, how shaped is this static?
Intent. Checking. Customers. For the-
There we go. Okay, don't forget to tell your friends you heard it at the Mad Scientist Tea Party. Shape static. It's what's happening. It's the new movement in audio production. This is a fairly minimalistic track. I've been invited to guest DJ on a local show, and if I do, I will use this for my minimalistic tracks, my undertracking, and I will add a lot of other racket on top of it. Now we could do sort of the rest of the show with this running in the background at a real low level, and it'll give a particular urgency and sort of a air of excitement to the whole show. But we're gonna have to have some people drinking tea here. That's right. Randini's on his way in. We know. We're pretty sure we're going to see Randini, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dr. Gordon. Now, Dr. Gordon and Randini, perhaps they could have a conversation. Yeah. What do you think? Let's see. I wonder how the chicken bunny would sound with the
Wanna have some fun? Okay, everybody, here we go. Let's do the chicken dance.
think it affected it somehow. That somehow this is like interactive music. And like a chicken bunny will make this. When I hit myself in the head with it, it went kaboom. It said, wow. I know that this may seem unfeasible to some people, but this is it is computer-generated music for the masses, and this is the music of the future. This is just the beginning. These are the early warning signs of the future of music. In the future, I've had a vision, and in the future, instead of mousing their way through the internet, people will stand before a large flat wall screen, maybe even thin enough that you can roll it up and like that, and use. I don't have one of my ray guns with me, but they'll use ray guns or six guns and various pointers and stuff, and little point and shoot devices, and they will dance to various kinds of trance and computer generated music in order to get an aerobic workout at the same time that they web surf, because it will be revealed that it is very unhealthy to spend long periods of time in front of computer screens, frozen in such a rigid position, watching a small screen and interacting on a small keyboard. So the world will have to be expanded that you operate in. And of course, there's always the option of the iPhones, the 3D glasses that would require no screen at all, other than you would wear the goggles on your face and your various motions and stuff would control. And we're on the edge of that now. All this is coming really, really fast. I can feel it coming. Can you feel it coming? Can you feel can you see the future? Can you hear the future? Sit back and close your eyes, or stand up and bounce around a little bit. Just move back and forth a little bit, and feel the rhythm of the shape static trance. This is a psy-trance version of shape static. Shape static and psy-trance are having an amalgamation now. That's if you would like to know what the cutting edge of the new sound is, only the people way down under the underground. They're so far down that the underground.
Okay. I have somebody coming in a couple minutes.
Okay.
And there's going to be a little bit of something.
Would you like to hear the future of music? This is shape static. This is the shape. And this is the sound of the future. This is shape static's amalgamation with trance.
Do you know these guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, we should get them on Mount Dungeon.
Absolutely. Would you like? Does that sound like something you'd like on Mount Dungeon?
Sure. Do they,
No problem.
how much of a show do they put on?
Well, I don't know. I think we should team them up with VFW. I mean, if you want like butt slides down the keyboard and stuff like that, you know, we need.
Well, you know, how many people is this?
There's two that I know of, but I'm not sure who all took. It's how can I explain it? It's a cooperative effort, but as far as I know, officially, this band is only two members, which would be Cry and Alex.
Okay.
And these are just for my use. These are just raw backtracks to be added to, and then Amos and I would take these and layer more stuff on these, but this will present the urgency. For instance, I could adjust this down to a lower level, which let me do that. Let me listen on the phone so that I can bring it down. And then we'll bring it down to a level where it won't disappear, but it's just barely under there.
That
Okay.
works.
Right. And we can continue our conversation. Let me see. This is a tricky point. Okay.
Is the CD player always in here too?
I'm leaving it in here more and more.
Okay.
And there we go. Now you can listen, and you see we can have our show, and you know, just like before we had Baroque music playing with the T, and Baroque music was very good with T and stuff. Okay, now this adds a new urgency to the tea party.
Yeah.
This is like
Knocks the energy up a notch.
electric tea. Da da pow. You know, zip zowie.
Yeah, I like it. They sound like they'd be a good contribution on Dungeon.
Okay.
Because we like to have a wide variety of different music, and we haven't had enough electronic music on there yet. It's one of the things that we want to get more of.
Do these people sound fairly competent to you? I'm sure they do. They rock, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they just do.
And somebody doesn't have to be ridiculously tightly competent to be on Mount Dungeon. There's varying styles of practice that we're willing to take. We've had a few bands that are just sort of starting to get their stuff together, but they want to get it together, and we appreciate it, we admire and respect that as well.
I think you should look into VFW, Veterans of Future Wars.
I've heard that before.
Okay.
Really,
And if you
so unprepared today. I don't
and if
have
you
my
put
notebook.
and I would say if you could arrange to schedule Shape Static and VFW at the same time.
How much equipment setup do they have?
Well, being an electronic band, these people don't have much.
Okay, I
You
mean,
see
I'm just
what I
wondering
mean?
if it's just a laptop, that's easy, but just want to check
I don't.
on those things.
I really can't say because I've not seen. The last time I saw Cry's set up, it was still pretty extensive.
Yeah, because within
So,
the period
but-
of 3 hours, we want to avoid a setup breakdown of two different bands. If
But they can be fairly minimalistic. So much stuff can be put into the sequencers and things like that to where and all the sounds can be loaded into a single sound bank and stuff, and things can be made very small, and then if you could that would be a good idea, but it would be good to have the guy, if we could make these guys have 2 or 3 practices together prior to it would be a good idea. You could come out with something pretty exceptional. This is as I was explaining.
I heard a beep.
I did too. Could it have been my phone? I don't know anything else that could have beeped. It would be my phone. I've missed a call. Let's see what it was. Okay. Let's see. I had those headphones on. Oh, it was Mr. McCracken, I bet. Let's see. But anyway, this is the shape static is the cutting edge. It's like what psychedelic was in the early '60s or something, and it hadn't quite found its feet
Like the
yet.
sound of it, like the sound of it.
This is Mr. McCracken. Hi there. Did you call me? I had the headphones on. I suppose I didn't hear my phone go off, and then I heard a little beep. I don't know how long it must have been in the last 15 minutes or something. You sound like you're sleepy. Did I wake you up? Did you just get off work? Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I'm doing the tea party. Are you watching me on TV? No. Oh, okay. What's up? Yeah. We're just listening to the new Shape Static CD, which has just recently been released. It has a Reese Perry painting on the front of it. It has a Reese Perry painting on the back of it. And it has a Reese Perry painting on the CD itself.
Music's not playing in the background anymore.
Oh.
No, there we go. Okay. Just hit a lull.
It's no. Yeah, Reese did the album cover now has Reese Perry paintings on it. Reese is not playing in it, I don't think. I didn't actually put it together. I just happened in on them. I think it was like maybe at one of the regional Burning Man things or something like that, and I happened into their campsite and began preaching the gospel of Shape Static, and the next thing I knew, there was this project. Which if you go to my website, you may recall the psychoacousticresearch.us website, and if you click on Shape Static, it will take you to the page that talks about the Shape Static project. Yeah. Well, are they national or international? Definitely international. In conceptually international. Wow.
Come on in.
Hi there. Oh, you brought me some tapes. Oh, nice.
Have a seat, Wyman.
Where should I say that?
Wherever you want.
Okay. I have guests
Probably
coming
a
in to
little
tea.
bit
I need to
closer.
you'll be
Run.
better in
Okay.
frame
In that
Okay.
Here, let me
Bye-bye.
adjust the camera. And so you'll be in this shot.
And you can hear what we've been listening to. We have this running in the back. We can hear what the audio is going on here. Can you hear that? Kind of low.
There we go.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
There we go. How's that?
Nice.
So good.
Feel like I'm
Do you gentlemen know each other?
We've seen each other.
Okay.
We've met before. Wyman, Tannehill.
We're listening to the new Shape Static CD just released.
Oh, nice. This is not a local group, is it?
And
Yeah.
It is.
this is John Blackwell, our resident mad scientist. And Wyman is the director for the feral chihuahuas
That's
as
it. It's a feral chihuahua.
they move on to the next level. They're doing a live show every Friday now, and they are going to be doing a URTV show that's coming on. You guys are shooting for the fall, right?
We're probably shooting for mid to late July.
Mid to late July.
Yeah.
Good.
Excellent.
The sooner the better.
Right. So it's going to be a series of 10-run season.
You like some tea?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, do have some tea.
Well, I can't pass. I'll
Okay.
take it. So.
Yeah, just give him a cup.
Same way.
These are small cups.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, the Feral Chihuahuas are a comedy sketch group, not improv.
Mhm.
And
I'll take more tea.
we are doing a 10-week run at 35 Below, the small theater underneath ACT. And basically it's a combination of live performance and film sketches.
Is it coming through?
Coming through.
To knock the sound down maybe a notch, like the music.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's every Friday, what time again?
Shows are at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
We're probably gonna have to start running 2 shows a night. We're gonna be selling out of our first show. So, be 2 shows a night, but 9 o'clock is the best time to come.
Okay.
And the difference between what you'll see at the live shows and what you'll see at the eventual URTV television show is
Cussing.
we'll keep the cussing in.
Oh, so you'll be on what after 11?
Yeah, we'll be in late night programming.
God
definitely.
bless the warning label.
Yes, it is much needed
Mm-hmm.
with ours.
That was a good one. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. At Mount Dungeon, it was battered back and forth, but eventually it was decided on, and this was me. I'm glad my input was listened to have a warning label at the beginning of every episode, no matter what, to be in the habit of it, and even if it's really not necessary for the episode, just to have it be there, because rather than shying away from it,
Exactly.
I believe in wearing it like a badge of honor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are several Chihuahuas that feel the same way
Yeah.
as you do.
Yeah, yeah.
We are going to have, I think it's in the works. There's a plan. We are going to have an actual Chihuahua on our show named Powder.
Powder.
Powder is a famous Chihuahua in the area.